Hey, what's going on, everybody? I apologize about the lateness that I had on our call. Got caught up with a few things over at the gym, but we're here now. So if you're checking out the recording later on, let me know that you're here. And if you jump on at any point, right, let me know that you're here. And let's dive straight into it, right? So, how's everything been going? I'm curious. Somebody's watching. How's everything been going? I'm curious. So we're on week 3 now, right? Our first week. What up, Pam? Our first week, we were all about scheduling, getting everything together. With week number 2, we talked about, about eating well, and then we had a couple of people turn in their food journals. I'm going to get those back to you via Voxer here in just a few minutes. And then this week, what it was is to get 5 minutes out of activity outside of the gym, right? So there's quite a bit that's coming, and it's starting to build up, right? It's definitely starting to pile up as the weeks go. So we're going to dive straight into the Healthy Lifestyle Blueprint. I'm going to have that there for you. I'm going to let you know what we got going on this week and then what you can prepare for. If you have any questions, just let me know below and we'll be good to go, right? We're keeping this easy. We're keeping this streamlined. And if you have any questions, feel free to, like I said, write below, or you can send them to me over Voxer, or you can send them to me through email, or even just ask me at the gym when you come in, right? So let's switch this off. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to send this to you, right, this week. And for the final week, number 2, we didn't count the first week, right? But for week number 2, what were 5 wins from this week, right? So we have the 5 here, and this is something that we want to fill out because reflecting upon what we do and then celebrating those things, it's huge, man. It builds momentum. When you know that you're actually doing things and you're seeing the results and you're able to tangibly view them, feel them, touch them, hear them, whatever it might be, it makes a huge difference in the way that you move forward. Imagine when you start seeing results with your body, one of the things that starts to happen is you start to get excited, like, oh my God, my stomach is reducing, or my shoulders are starting to shape up, or that piece of clothing that I wasn't able to wear, I can wear it now. And that stuff is motivating, that stuff gets you going. So that's what we want to do, is we want to celebrate those victories here along the way. And then how will you improve for next week? What are you going to do? Is there something different? Right? Every day we want to get 1% better, so how are you going to end up making that difference? How are you going to end up building, right, for this next week? Things that are going to make this next week great in my life, what's it going to be in your personal life, in your work life, in your family life, in your gym life? You can even consider these your goals, right? The things that you want to do in order to improve your life, and you're going week by week. So it shouldn't take more than about 3 to 5 minutes if you really apply the time to write these things down, especially if you don't print it out, but you use it on the computer. Then it takes even less time than that, and it makes such a huge difference, y'all, in the way that you look at your week and how you interact with people too. And then what are you looking forward to? Is there something going down right now that you're looking forward to? Is there something that you're doing this weekend that you looked forward to? And all week you were like, oh my God, I can't wait for this weekend because I'm going to be doing this particular thing. I know that's really vague, but did you feel that excitement? I know for some people, they're at that place right now and they're going to have fun and they're excited about it. They were talking about it all week. And, they were talking about it all week for the weekend. So let's take that same idea, let's take that same philosophy, I guess, like preparing for the weekend, and prepare for the week. What are you excited about? What is going to make this week great, and not just something else that passes you by, but something that you can remember, right? There's something that you can remember and be proud of. Okay, so now we're going to be moving into week 3 of the 6-week challenge. We're hitting that half mark, y'all. Week number 3's habit. It's back to nutrition. It's to eat slowly till you are 80% full. When we eat too fast, we tend to overeat, and you give yourself at least 15 minutes to sit down and enjoy and eat your food. Do this for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and your snacks if you're able to. We're going to have you food journal again. Food journaling can bring guilt and shameful feelings if you're eating bad. This week, record your food without judgment. You'll need a notebook, and we want to record the time that you eat, the amount of food that you eat, and how much you eat, and how you feel after eating. Don't forget to schedule and log. We have a few little reflections right here, right? Integrity is your choosing, and what risk are you making? That's some of the stuff that I'm going to put in the Facebook group a little bit later on. But what you want to know, what you want to worry about, right, is recording your food again. So what I'm going to do is in the Facebook group and also over email, I'm going to send you the 3-day diet, something that we had again. And I believe we had 2 people out of the 15 in our challenge turn those in. So if nutrition is an issue for you and you would like to get a better handle on that, these are the best opportunities, right, in week 1 and in week 3 to get that nutrition on point and to ask those questions, right, to really evaluate, okay, what am I eating, when am I eating it, and how am I feeling after I eat it? Being aware and using that mindfulness is going to make such a significant difference. Too many times in our lives, we focus on rather numbing what's happening rather than paying attention to what's happening. And that's why years of that little bit of back pain suddenly turns into something where you're incapacitated and you have to visit the hospital. Or over time, right, or eating too much sugar over time ends up causing diabetes, right? Especially if it's not the genetic disorder. And of course, eating too many calories over a given period of time is going to cause weight gain. And if there's no exercise that's along with that, it's going to be more adipose tissue, it's going to be more fat. And once there's more fat, right, of course that brings out a whole slew of different diseases and issues that you can encounter, right, and you can experience. So it is crucial that we get that food down and that we start to implement habits that can change, right, your body to make it healthier and to change your mindset. And one of those habits that we're going to have this week is going to be eating till we're 80% full. Now this one is a lot more difficult than you think it might be because we've been taught for so long that you need to eat everything on your plate. When I was younger, I was told if I didn't eat anything that starving kids in Africa would not be able to eat their food, and that I was causing them that type of pain in some sort of way. I'm sure you've been there before. There are starving kids in Africa that can't eat their food. You better eat that whole plate. I'm sure you've heard that or some variation of that from a friend or a friend's parent. So what does 80% feeling full look like? All right, that's a great question, Pam. So what that feels like is, actually I'm thinking of the right way to put it. What that feels like is the feeling of feeling full and feeling satisfied. So let's go over a typical meal that we might have in today's world. 1, it's skipped, right? But 2, it might be kind of rushed and pressured, meaning that you're eating while you're still working, you're eating while you're in the car, you're eating while you're stressed, you're eating while you're with your people, or you're eating while you're on a screen, right, while you're on your phone. So it's a distracted type of eating, right, whether it's on the computer screen or whether it's the TV screen. And with that distracted type of eating, what ends up happening is we give our full attention to one area, right, our energy to one area rather than our energy to what we're doing, which is eating. And what starts to happen is we start to overeat, we start to eat, and we don't realize until we're finished that we have this overfull feeling. So to eat till 80% full means to eat till you feel satisfied. What that looks like is taking slow bites. Okay, it means taking slow bites, it means savoring your food, it means setting down your fork, your spoon, your utensil in between your meals. It means chewing your food and paying attention to the way that it tastes and allowing yourself a few seconds to fully digest your food and make sure all the food that's in your mouth has been consumed before you put more food in there, not rushing through everything. There was a study done with soup at a restaurant, and they had a controlled group, and then they had, of course, a group that they would vary everything with. And what they did in this experiment was they sat 2 people down, and in one person's bowl they allowed the person to have a fixed amount of soup, and in the next person's bowl they had a never-ending bowl of soup, meaning once the soup got to a certain point, there was a refill that happened which added a little bit more soup, just enough where a person couldn't notice. And the person that had the never-ending soup, believe it or not, I believe the number was 36%. They ate 36% more soup than they would have if it was a fixed amount. Now, the reason why they said that was because the person was distracted and they began to eat and it was available to them, right? It was available to them. So what that means is if you allow yourself to have larger portions, you're more than likely going to eat those larger portions. So in order to get to that 80% full, we need to control our portions, we need to control our environment, meaning ourselves in our environment, right? Like our focus, we need to control our focus, and we need to be aware of how we're eating and what that feels like. So what are the right portions? I'm sure you heard me. You've heard me say it after classes, ladies. That's a palm of protein, right? That's a fistful of vegetables. That's a thumb's worth of fat, and that's a cupped handful of carbohydrates. What that is in measurements, what that is in ounces, is 3 to 5 ounces of protein, 1 fistful of veggies, a thumb's worth, or excuse me, a fistful of veggies. That's a cup of vegetables. Excuse me. A thumb's worth of fat is about 1 to 2 tablespoons, and a cupped handful of carbohydrates is about 1/4 to 1/2 a cup, okay? For guys, we want to double that, right? We want 4 to 8 ounces of protein. We want 1/2 a cup to a full cup of carbs. We want 1 to 2 servings of vegetables, and we want 1 to 4 servings of fat. With that being said, we also want to make sure that our large plates, our large serving size plates, go to smaller serving sizes, right? Because if you have more food on the plate and there's more empty space on the plate, you're more than likely going to put more food on there as well. So this week is all about being mindful at the table. It's about being mindful of your plate sizes. It's being mindful of what you're doing while you're eating, whether it's distracted or whether it's focused on your feeling. It's noticing the tastes from your food, and it's noticing the feeling of satiety and how your body feels afterwards. And what I mean by feels afterwards is, do you have that heavy, sluggish feeling like you might have after a Thanksgiving dinner? Or do you feel light whenever like you have a salad? Do you still feel empty inside as if you didn't have enough calories? And from there, you want to do your best to eat till you just feel a light feeling of fullness, and that means 80%. So Pam, if you're still watching or if you watch the replay, please let me know if that answered your question, and if I didn't, then I'll do my best to answer that for you more accurately. And from there, y'all, that's it. So what you can expect this week is to still record your food. I'm going to send out the 3-day diet one more time, and that's going to be mainly over email. You're very welcome. I'm going to send that 3-day diet one more time over email so that we have something there. For those that gave me their meal plan earlier this week, I'm sorry that I haven't gotten back. I'm going to do that here in just a second. We want to keep stretching for those 5-minute stretches or that 5 minutes of activity outside of the gym, right? So whether it's the stretching with the stretch routine or whether it's walking, swimming, hiking, it doesn't matter, right? As long as it's 5 minutes of activity. It can be low aerobic, meaning low heart rate, like walking, or it can be something more intense, like swimming 1,500 meters or running 15 miles, like our Ironman does in our group. If you have any questions, please definitely let me know below. Email me, Voxer me, whatever it might be. And I think that's it for right now. We're going to have an assignment over the week, and it's going to be a very interesting assignment, right? And what it's going to involve is raisins or grapes. Raisins or grapes. And I'll give you a couple of different options if raisins or grapes don't taste too great to you and they're not your favorite, right? So keep recording, stay on your stuff, and it's not going to be this week. No, it's not going to be this week, but it's going to be the end of next week, the end of this coming week, that we will measure and that we're going to weigh in. I hope you all have a great day. I hope that your weekend is phenomenal, that if you have a cheat meal, that it stays as just a cheat meal, not a cheat day or a cheat weekend. And I hope that you register for classes next week. We have a deload week. We're going to focus on recovery, stretching out, and mobility. And then last but certainly not least, you are unstoppable. Have a great weekend. We'll talk soon. Peace.